Hey everyone, welcome to Whittle Spot again. We have Varshith here today with us. I think most of my followers and are fond of Varshith, I guess, because
Yeah.
I see a lot of mutuals and for both of us.
Yeah.
Let's hear from him what I think he has cracked the algorithm well for the last year, if I can see, with the followers and all. And
Mm.
he himself is running a personal branding agency where he helps founders to get those algorithm cracks. Come on, man. I mean, I just want to hear how did you able to do that?
Uh, Thanks, Abhishek, firstly, inviting me for this podcast. I'm really excited to share what we've been cooking in the last couple of years. Uh, I would say, it's pretty awesome, and the journey has been pretty awesome. It's been a long journey, not gonna lie, right? Like, my first personal brand took forever to even to scale to even 1,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember, I uploaded around like 100 plus videos and still was at 700 followers in the beginning.
Uh-huh.
And I used to do like it's not even like some casual content. I used to actually do some cinematic storytelling content, and I still didn't really pick up at all. Like my highest views video that time was around 20K, and that too happened randomly. But now when I look back, right, I knew why it went viral, but before I couldn't figure it out why. I couldn't reverse engineer why that was going well. And like the amount of education that we have, the amount of information and the knowledge that we have about content creation and personal branding didn't exist back then when I first started. So there were no AI tools. There was ChatGPT didn't really exist back then. It was still developing phases, right? Uh, you could basically use it as a Google alternative, but not to write creative scripts. You cannot build custom GPTs back then. Claude didn't really even exist in our heads. I mean, I think Claude existed, but it didn't really pick up at all. Right now, people use Claude in order to write scripts, do the content strategy, brainstorming for ChatGPT, but back then it was nothing. Now
Yeah.
you also see YouTubers out there, let's say Callaway, right? Like
Mad
many
video.
other creators as well. Yeah, many other creators who are talking about content creation in general. Even I create content about content creation, on how you can go viral, what are the trends that are happening right now. But back then, it was pretty difficult. Like everyone was just hopping onto this wave of personal branding.
Right.
Um, lot of people think it's a bubble as well. Like I had some conversations, like people think it's a bubble, but I 100% disagree with it. I think personal brands always existed, even
Yeah.
back in the day, right? But just the format has changed right now.
Exactly.
Um Founder-led branding is something that is winning. And I think we're all, pretty pumped up to ride this wave and make the best out of this wave that we are experiencing in this generation.
When is that time when you have started? Was it like 2020 or when is that?
It was in 2023.
Okay.
So I started in 2022. That's when, podcasting really entered into our country.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been doing content since when I was a kid. So it's not like, oh, this is something new that I started. I've always uploaded YouTube videos. I've hopped on the TikTok trend as well. Uh, I think there was this other platform called Dubsmash,
Yeah.
which I used to create content as well. I also hopped on. There's another platform called Like. It's a Chinese based platform
Then
which went.
making
Uh, pr
stuff
I'm
with
sorry.
Telugu. Don't tell me that you were making stuff with the Telugu.
The dialogues, the
Yeah.
dialogues. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was not just Telugu. I was also doing Tamil dialogues as well. I was doing Hindi dialogues as well, Hollywood as well. Right, a lot of James Bond dialogues in the platform. Rajnikant as well. Like, it was just mad. Like the peak was mad. So again, like I did it for entertainment purposes. Never really went
Right.
deep into it.
Then monetization
But
was not also part of it.
no, Dubsmash was not a part of it, but there was this platform called Like. It
Uh-huh.
was a Chinese-based platform, like I said. Not really popular. It was very big in the US, the Chinese markets, but not really big in India. So some of my friends told me, bro, like if you get this many amount of likes, you'll earn your first dollar. And I was locked in. I was locked in. So I was just trying to, earn that first dollar. Even that $1, was
Yeah.
really, really special for me. And actually, I've posted multiple reels. I used to, not reels, like multiple pieces, right?
Yeah.
Short form pieces. And then I still remember, like, after, like, I used to do like 3 to 4 videos every single day. So the moment I came from school, I used to just record content, post it on like, trying to make that $1, right? I was competing with my friends as well. So I had a friend group who was kind of, inclined towards Western media. So they used to watch a lot of gamers, a lot of streamers, right? Now all those people used to hop on to like, TikTok, Twitch, and other platforms.
Uh-huh.
And
Back
so
then.
they used to, yeah, back then. So they
Oh,
used to tell me about all this stuff, and I was pretty intrigued. I was like, damn, bro, I want to try. I want to make that dollar as well. I want to be the cool kid in the class. And that's how
nice.
I started, like, and you know what, like, I actually ended up, earning that $2 or something. But that's when I got to know you gotta earn some $100 in order to even withdraw in the first place.
Mm.
That's when I was like, fucking bro. Like I I I I had to work so hard even to earn that first $1. Like I created multiple short form pieces.
That's a very
But
good start. Yeah.
then when he was like, "Oh, you gotta earn $100," I was like, "It's not gonna happen for me." Right?
Right.
So yeah, that's how I started transition into podcasting. I did like some Spotify podcast as well. So it was only audio-based platforms. I used to be big on self-improvement books back then, self-help books. Something that I've realized was a lot of my friends are not reading it, but I thought, why not just summarize it, give them some bullet points, take some key lessons, because I thought most of the book are not even relevant for a lot of people. I thought there are
Right.
some key points, the biggest takeaways from each book, just to summarize and condense them, make it consumable. So I started a podcast called Easy Books.
Uh-huh.
I've recorded multiple episodes. It didn't really take off. I had like 10 viewers, 15 viewers, 100 viewers on a monthly basis.
Mm.
Then I didn't really feel, I used to just have this shiny object syndrome, switching from one to the other.
Right,
I
right,
kept switching. I kept
right.
switching. So I also used to create YouTube podcasts literally a year ago.
Oh,
Yeah, so I still have those I've recorded podcasts almost 3 times. So I've attempted to record podcast 3 times at this point in my life. One is the audio version, second thing is in person, third one is online.
right,
So the
right,
in-person podcast never got released. I've
right.
done 5 to 6 episodes. They never got
Oh,
released. Um,
but I
I've did
can
a
tell
lot
you
of,
one thing with Riverside coming in person takes a lot of effort. You have to
yeah,
bring, there's a lot of setup and all of
yeah,
that happens, and it is very hard. Okay.
yeah,
Secondly, back in the day, to get a podcast online recorded through a Google or a Zoom call, it was not that efficient, all of that. But
yeah,
this particular space gives us, after the conversation, 10 shots, reels, which are, it will pick up the best conversations and give us the virality based
yeah,
listing. And it is working for me a lot. It actually gets uploaded for Apple Podcasts and Spotify podcasts as
yeah,
well. I didn't expect people who will listen to me in the first place, but I am getting a place of 50 to 100 for each.
yeah. I think that's awesome. So even like when I started online podcasts, Riverside was the same platform I was using. So that, like, it's been almost 1 year since I hopped onto Riverside again.
Right.
The last time that I hopped on was my last podcast that I've recorded like in the month, in the same, literally like 2024 of March or February during the same time. It's like a full circle moment, using the same platform to record podcasts, and now I'm getting hosted on the podcast. Seems really good. Yeah.
So my agenda was to, hop on with founders and entrepreneurs and talk to them about all the operations and strategies that they're trying to put them into the businesses or
Yeah.
products, so that they can share all their experience where other founders could also learn from it and get better of it. It's all information which we can roll out.
No, 100%.
So that is the value I'm trying to provide from this. So coming to personal branding. Okay. Before
Yeah.
your company, what were you doing? Is this your first thing? Why did you choose this particularly as a service from your side? And what is
Hmm.
your background? Like, why did you hop onto this as a career?
Yeah. So I actually started my business when I was 14 to 15 year old.
Mm-hmm.
Not the personal branding, but I got myself into entrepreneurship when I was 14 years old. My first business was selling sneakers. That was my first gig. So this was back in 2020, no, 2019 and 2020, back in COVID.
Yeah.
So we used to buy sneakers for retail from websites like Nike Drops. So Nike drops sneakers, right? Jordans and Yeezys were a very big thing back then.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's right now. I think I see the hype's dying. The industry is kind of going down.
Mm.
Um, so back in the day, I used to, let's say have the sneaker for like 9,000, 7,000, and used to sell them for 15,000, 16,000, 20,000. That's how I got into entrepreneurship in the first place. I did that for a while, earned some decent amount of money. Then I saw that this was not scalable. This is like pretty small margins. I want to do
Yeah.
something big, right? And then after 1 year down the line, I didn't do anything. So I was completely focusing on my undergraduation application process to the US. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get into a good university. That was the goal. And then so sideline entrepreneurship for a while, but then got back into it again to help. So I've realized a gap between uh, all the study abroad agencies, right? So these people were charging so much amount of money and they were pretty much not offering any kind of value. I was like, I want to disrupt this industry. That was the only vision that I had. I
Yeah.
want to completely. So if you see any study abroad agencies, right, it's very local. So Telangana has certain agencies, Maharashtra has certain
Yeah.
agencies, Delhi has certain agencies, right? It's pretty broken. I wanted to completely change this. I wanted to, create a branding market, establish a brand in this industry. It was like a multi-billion dollar market, right? It's a very big market in India. So I wanted to establish a brand. I want to build a platform. I want to create so this businesses are pretty much traditional, run by all the old people who don't even have an experience of applying to colleges for themselves.
Yeah.
I was like, I know the student POV, that's my unfair advantage. I'm going to create content. I don't know why, but that was the initial thing, right? I want to create content. I want to build distribution. I want to scale it across India. So not just in my city. I want across India. I've
Okay.
developed a website on my own back in the day. No code. So it's like not vibe coding. I
Yeah.
yeah, I used to I had to hand build it, right? And then I did it together. So I learned how to do it. I did that. I approached two schools. I conducted workshops. This was like when I was 16, 17 year old, right before coming to college. Uh, I convinced myself to talk to the principals and the chairmen of the schools in order to convince them that okay, I'm young, but I have a plan. I have the knowledge to help these people because it's risky for these principals to get some
Mm.
16-year-old to even influence some other students in the class, right?
Yeah.
Because there will be a lot of parent influence in coming in. But I still managed to convince them, signed some clients, made some money. I used
Mm.
to charge like 12,000 rupees back then for like one application when my competition was charging 1 lakh, right? That was like the big selling point.
Right.
Um, so, but then I stopped because once I came back to US, it got super hectic
Right.
and I couldn't really capitalize. I couldn't really know marketing and everything. So it just stopped. I helped some of my applicants and I got them into good universities actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that went pretty well. But that's when I realized I am not going to go into the product-driven business or let's say any kind of startup ecosystem
Mm-hmm.
because something that I've realized and something that I've also kept listening from my family as well, right? So even my family is into it's like so they're into pharmaceuticals.
Mm-hmm.
It's a product-driven business, but also like service-based business as well. It's both. It's B2B. So something that I always kept hearing is that, startup or let's say any product-driven business, even if you want to build a startup, you gotta invest capital and then you don't know if the product is gonna succeed or no. You gotta get the product market fit ready.
Yeah.
But I always kept hearing from a lot of other entrepreneurs, even advice from internet was that pick a traditional business that's already making money, which is already proven, right? The systems are already there. All you gotta do is just 10% of innovation,
Yeah.
right? that's when it clicked me. Like, without a lot of investment, I can still create money, right? I can basically create money. That's why I started into content creation as well. I didn't have a plan. I was like, I want to create content. Let's see where this goes. I
Mm-hmm.
want to start freelancing. I want to, create like an editing agency in the first place. That was the goal.
Right.
Because I loved editing. And then I picked up a course for editing from Bio Biceps.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then I learned a lot from it. I started editing, creating content. Brand collaborations came in. I was like blown, like there's a lot of money, a lot
Yeah.
of creators making money, influence making a lot of money, right? I was like, damn, this is a good industry to be in. But then that's when it hit me, right? This is not something that I don't want to be an influencer. I don't want to, it sounds cringe for me. Like I cannot always record content, show my life, talk about something, pick one niche, talk about that. I cannot do it. I'm a combination of a lot of things. That's when personal branding came in, right?
Mm.
Personal brand is something where you build a brand, you become the niche, end of the
Mm.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you become the niche, and people don't follow you because you're creating content in certain niche. You become the person, and people follow you because you are that person.
Right.
And I started doing that, and I started getting a lot of opportunities to be a part of, right? Startups, uh,
Mm.
a lot of founders approaching for networking, and then I started podcasting. I got a lot of people as well. I was like, okay, I've grown my, brands to a certain numbers. I was like, a lot of founders also kept started reaching out to me, can you do this for me? Can you help me build my content as well? Because I
Right.
have such brand, I have a company, I want more leads for it. I was
Mm.
like, let's do this. It's pretty fun.
Mm.
I started doing it. Then that's when I realized, okay, there is a market here.
Right.
It's actually a thing, right? Personal branding agency is actually a thing.
Yeah. It's now it's
Uh,
a
yeah, so back then it was not a thing, right? But it started becoming a thing.
right.
So especially in India, it always existed in other countries, but in India it
Back
started
then
becoming
it
a
was
thing.
just brands who are trying to build content in their own pages, but now
Exactly.
for the last 2 to 3 years, they stop building their brand pages and start building their own personal brand.
Founder-led. Yeah,
Yeah.
founder-led brands. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that started happening. I was like, damn, there's an opportunity. Let me just seize this, right? Something that I know already. I kind of need to understand how the sales works. Yeah,
Right.
you
I
tell me.
want to add a thing here, let's see, we from India, we are, influenced by politics a lot. If you
Yeah.
can see back then, a person's image is more impactful than which party is in.
Yeah, 100%.
You understand? That is where
Yeah.
personal branding started.
No, 100%. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, people used to see that guy face and vote rather than the party symbol.
Yeah, 100%. And something which is I don't know, a lot of audiences might be aware of this, but Lalitha Jewellery, right?
Yeah, yeah,
He was the one of the first fewest people to build a founder-led brand
exactly,
through advertising.
exactly. The old
Yeah,
school way,
like
newspapers.
exactly, exactly. He shared his story. He was, if you really go back to see his all his campaigns, right?
Yeah,
He always makes sure to have relatable touch points
yeah, I
in
know.
order to convince. He's like double urke varke rao, right? It's like he's kind of targeting that pain point. He's
Getting
making
into
it relatable.
everybody's home.
Yeah,
That dialogue
exactly.
has went into everybody's home.
Exactly. And then and it came from his personality because he always genuinely shows up to the camera. Always, right? It's not any celebrity, it's him coming to the
Exactly,
camera and then talking to the customer directly.
exactly. He's the father
I
of
took
personal
off.
branding, is what I feel. Because
Yeah, exactly.
because when I go to movies, I see him now. Today also, he comes on in between the ads. In the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now he's become to next level. He has come up as a VFX character. He's
Yeah.
putting hands on buildings, doing all of that stuff. I was like, this guy has become, now he has, distributed his Instagram channels for each language.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
If you follow him, he does it in Malayalam, Tamil, Telugu.
Tamil, Telugu, yeah.
He's trying to get very deep into that, connection
Yeah.
to the people.
He's also doing podcasts now. Like he was on podcast recently as well. Like yeah, like last year I guess.
Yeah.
It's just insane now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's always been there. I think the format has changed right now. Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So that's how I entered into personal branding, and now I have an agency, I have a consulting as well. So yeah.
Nice, nice, man. So let's come to, breaking down the algorithm for personal branding. If you
Yeah.
say what are those five important, let's say variables that a founder should focus on to get the distribution done. What is your point of view as being a personal branding agency founder?
Yeah. I don't think there are 5 points, but I'll tell you what exactly is really important, right? Something that I've broken down, looking at all the gurus, what other gurus says, and what's my contrarian opinion towards it. People tell, like, if you really, first of all, you got to figure out what do you even want to do? Why are you even building your brand in the first place? A
Right.
lot of people, like, start of doing some random things because some other competition is doing, right? But I think you have to have an idea on exactly where do you want to even take this to, right? Why are you even exactly building this brand? So once you do that, you got to come back again and be like, who do you want to become if you want to do that thing, right?
Right.
And then what do you want to also talk to the people? So I think these three things are very important because you cannot fake it. A lot of founders that I see right now are trying to fake it because their competition is doing it, right?
Mhm.
They might not even know, or they might not even be capable enough to also talk about certain things, but they still do it because right now you have tools, you can scrape all the content out, you can completely do a viral script, and you can
Yeah.
talk. But
Yeah.
now people are able to sense it, people are able to smell it because authentic content creation is the new what do you say, format that everyone is moving towards.
Raw content.
Yeah, raw content is what is really working. So if you can really come up to the camera and talk about your real values and what you truly believe in, that is what people are going to resonate with, and that's when you're going to get your customers. I think that's pretty straightforward. And something that I've also realized a lot of founders are doing this one mistake is, again, like this is what other people are doing, this is what my competition is doing. I'm just going to copy the same thing and make sure I push my product.
Hmm.
But I'll tell you a disadvantage with it. You will, let's say Nike, right? You take a brand called Nike. If you copy Nike, w would you be ever beat Nike in the same industry? You will never be able to beat Nike,
Right.
right? You'll always be the second
Right.
person. If not, you'll be termed as the copy of Nike. That's the
Right.
worst thing that's gonna happen. The best scenario is you'll be the second position, right?
Hmm.
If at all you want to beat Nike, you should not be copying Nike and doing whatever that is doing. You got to learn from it. You got to understand how did they brand, how did they even approach this system, and you got to understand, take inspiration. But it's not
Right.
like, oh, I'm gonna bluntly copy Nike, whatever that is doing, right? And I'm gonna use the same strategy. That's not gonna work. You'll be always end up being the second person,
Right.
right? Now I'll give you another example on running
Hmm.
on shoes, right? Right. Now this has become one of the most hottest sneaker brands, the running shoe brands right now in the
Yes.
market,
Exactly.
right? Now if I tell you, buy me some running shoes, you want to choose On instead of Nike. Now
Yeah.
what
Sure.
did they do differently? Positioning. They did something different, right? They went on to marathons. The founder is Marathon himself, right? Again, it's a founder-led brand itself. He wanted to develop shoes for his marathons, and that's how On was born. He chose one specific niche, right? He chose to become the big fish in the small pond first.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
what happens immediately once the pond expands? Your brand also expands, and you become the shark in that small pond,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, anyone who wants to come into the industry,
Right.
you will have that first more advantage. And since you have that unique positioning, you'll always be the market pioneer.
Right.
Now, once you have the brand established, you can, diverge into multiple industries. You can
Easily.
expand you can expand horizontally
Right.
and establish your brand. Now,
Right.
that's how you have the full dominance.
Hmm.
And it's not just in the sneaker brand. If you see any brand right now, like any e-commerce brand, any,
Yeah.
let's say, social media platforms as well, right? If you see even Instagram was a very first of all, was a photo-driven platform,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of times Facebook was specifically for meta ads, right? It was always about marketplaces, community pages, but Instagram was, kind of fun, quirky, just to entertain people, just to share some, it was like private communities and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instagram was always that kind of platform.
Right.
And now they're expanding. They've
Right.
gone into, education as well. They've gone into carousels, reels, communities, broadcast channels, stories, selling, right? Everything. Now they're also launching marketplaces here, right? So if they do it right off the bat, right, they would be come across as, copy of TikTok or let's say copy of some other platform. So if you want to build, let's say you already have, you're a founder, you have competition who already has a personal brand. You don't go copying him. You got to understand, okay, why do you want to do it in the first place?
Mm.
Where do you think you have that unfair advantage that this person doesn't have? And
Right.
completely double down on that.
Right.
You got to position yourself slightly in a different way. Like 90% can be same, 10 to 20%, right? If you can differentiate that with your brand, right?
Right.
You will be seen as a different person altogether.
Right.
And then once you expand yourself horizontally, you can put yourself in the first position or a competing level with your already market leader that you have.
I
That's the
have
approach that I would take. Yeah.
understood. So, does you believe in volumes game for the reach, or is it something you do it in a different way? Because I hear from a lot of the founders that it's volume and consistency every day, that you keep posting like two to three
Hmm.
reels,
Yeah.
or whatever content you're trying to put out.
Hmm. I think end of the day it comes to comes down to the founder because for you in order to become consistent you got to do something that you love doing, right?
Yeah.
If you really enjoy, if content is something that is really a big concern for you, I would say don't do a lot of volume, right? Focus on putting out quality content, which takes up time, but you only do it like, one time in a month, or let's say one time in a week. But it
Right.
has to go like, break all the records. It has to compensate for all the volume that you're creating, right?
Right.
Something that I truly believe in, again, like it's the game that you want to choose. There are two things, right? The machine gun strategy and the sniper strategy.
Yeah.
So if you wanna, create the craziest content that doesn't exist outside, right? You want to create something that is super deep.
Mm.
Go through the sniper strategy. Like
Mm.
if you really enjoy doing that, create something exceptional that people come and rewatch the same content piece that you've put out, and people are waiting in order to see your next drop.
Right.
Right now,
Right.
every video that you drop feels like an exclusive drop, and people are craving for it.
Something like
Now even
Casey
that works.
used to do.
Exactly. Exactly. Right now that also works.
Mm.
See, end of the day, everything works. You gotta choose which game that you wanna play. What I would do instead, like, if you want to be in between, I don't want to be a sniper, I don't want to be a machine gun, I want to be something like a submachine gun, right?
Yeah.
Like a AK-47, let's say, right?
Yeah.
What would you do? You have your long form content already in a way that can also be clipped into short form content and distributed into multiple purposes. That's what I call the waterfall method.
Right.
You
Right.
take one long form content, you
Which is kind
already,
of following. Yeah.
exactly, the main beef, right?
Mm.
And you distribute it in according to multiple platforms. Let's
Right.
say you create LinkedIn posts, you create short form reels, you create YouTube shorts. You also create some, what do you say, 10-minute clips of that pieces of content onto your other secondary YouTube channel or the same YouTube channel, like the highlight page, right? The highlight thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it always can be crafted on what the founder wants and really what is really, what he would enjoy. Because end of the day, content is a consistency game, and consistency doesn't mean you gotta post every single day, right? It's just being relevant and just being in the game for long enough so that people know you well and you're in the, you're benefiting a lot, capitalizing on the market a lot, and you can pick anyways. That's what I tell any
I
of my
mean, this
clients.
advice has, took me very deep, because I personally been trying to, I mean, I've just started it, like it's been 2 to 3 months where I've started taking serious
Yeah.
of my personal brand and building it. And whatever you said is actually, boils down to that, unless until the founder feels it you know
Yeah,
I know he feels it that he can do it, he cannot do anything,
yeah,
you know.
exactly.
It is a
I'll tell you
consistent.
one point though.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one point though. Uh, so there is this again another nuance coming here, right? So let's say you're working with someone who has already done it before, right?
Mm,
That's where I would say the sniper game or like say the submachine gun, the AK-47 gameplay would work really well for you.
mm,
But if you're all alone yourself, if you're just starting out, you do not have the capital to invest into a team or let's say some experienced players out there, then you gotta go brute force into creating higher volume. Because I'll tell you two reasons. One is, first of all, you're starting out. You have to get used to creating content in the first place because you're going to do this for a longer period of time, right? The second thing is you do not have data to really take a decision and differentiate between what is a quality content and what is not a
that
quality
is not
content.
what. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, when you have data points, you can tell, okay, this is what quality content looks like,
Mm,
and you are training your creator muscle, right?
mm,
It's
mm,
just like a gym, right? So you're training your muscle now. Now you got to do a higher volume to understand, okay, which exercise works for you and which doesn't work for you.
mm,
And
mm,
once you have that, once you scale past like 10K mark, you exactly know now, okay, now this is going to work for me and this is not going to work for me. I know this format is going to work and this format is not going to work.
right.
Right.
And
That's when you can go back to your sniper method again.
exactly. And
Yeah,
as a creator, you also know what is your strength and what is it, what is not.
exactly. Yeah.
Then you can, I think, I mean, this is a really good breakdown, man. I really like the stuff you have, I mean, the way you have explained.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think this will give a lot of input to a lot of people who is trying to build personal brands.
You know, something that I do, something that I also is beneficial for me. Throughout an year, there are certain months where you're super motivated and super energetic. Like your physical energy and your creativity is all-time high, right?
Yeah.
Now I use this properly. I use this period super properly. So it's like you work like a lion,
Mm,
right? When it's time to hunt, you go all in brute force, you go hunting, get the deer, get your hunt, right? Now,
mm,
let's say for the 3 months, right? Let's say in this quarter, Q1, right? There are 3 months in total. I would say 45 of the days, I would be super pumped to create content. The rest 45 days, I would not really be super pumped. Now, what I
right,
would do is I would just brute force my way in the first 45 days to create so much content. And the next 45 days, I would kind of chill take it easy. I'd
right,
be like, instead of uploading 7 videos in a week, I would do 3 to 4 videos.
right,
I would kind of slow down.
right,
I'm trying to so that it avoids me from burning out. Because at the
right,
end of the day, you shouldn't burn out. As a founder, you shouldn't burn out at all, right?
right.
And then this is just a part of it. You have other parts as well, your operations, your hiring, your team, your business in the first place, right? You shouldn't burn out. So again, if you're doing it all by yourself, I would say is go by phases.
Right.
Go brute force when you have the highest amount of motivation and energy, and kind of slow down and don't hammer yourself down when you do not have the energy and the bandwidth to create content. Take it
It
easy.
comes to the day as well. I mean, let's take as a week in a month day
Yeah.
when I want to create a lot of content. We can do that.
Yeah,
If
do it like immediately. Yeah.
I do that, if my mood is right today, I'm going to shoot 2 to 3
Yeah.
reels. I'll finish them.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
100%.
yeah, that is also a way to keep
Like
us moving.
literally yesterday, I sat down to write 7 to 8 scripts, right? I couldn't do it.
Yeah, Washit. Yeah. Did we miss? Yes. Am I audible?
Oh yeah, I lost you for a second. There's some glitch in the internet. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I was talking, right? Yesterday,
Yes.
I
Yes.
sat down to write down like 6 to 7 videos, and I couldn't do even one single video properly. I just
Mm,
couldn't. It
mm,
happens. And there are
right.
certain times where I'm like, all of a sudden, content just flows. Like it just
Mm,
flows, right?
mm,
You sit down, you're like
right.
writing
Right.
one script after the other, one script after the other, and you
Yeah.
got to maximize the output that you can have during that time.
Right.
See, it's creative task, right? It's end of the day, content is creative. You cannot force it. You
Right.
just got to maximize the flow that you're getting. You never
And
know when it's
location
gonna flow.
really matters as well, sometimes you feel like going away somewhere, sitting down there and get that
Yeah.
thoughts.
Oh, I've switched to it like 3 places to 4 places yesterday just to get my creative flow in. It didn't happen, bro. It just didn't happen. I was just,
I see both of us will relate to that. I mean, when we were young, there's this director called Puri Jagannath, if you have heard.
yeah.
Cool. They used to tell that he used to go to Bangkok and write scripts. He,
Oh, really?
yeah, everybody. I used to think, why is he foolish? Why is he doing that?
Now
Now
you get
he,
it.
now I get it.
Yeah, yeah. Environment plays a very big role, bro. Like,
Yeah,
it inspires you to create content. It
yeah,
gives you new thoughts, new places, new people gives you new thoughts and a fresh sense of energy. And
right.
when you tune into that, when they align together, you're like,
Work out
the
now.
flow just enters. You're at the
Yeah.
flow state now. Yeah.
People today, people are believing in, uh, I mean, the person rather than the brand.
Yeah,
They're
100%.
just, they're just believing you rather than
Yeah.
XYZ company or whatever. And they're using service or a product. I completely, being a consumer, I do that. And people who are
Yeah.
coming to me after getting online, I feel that they are relating to
Yeah.
us, because talking to you, I can relate to you because I've been seeing your videos, all your journey, what you have
Yeah.
gone through. I relate to you. That's why I'm talking to you. In a I feel that I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
That's what it makes.
No, 100%, bro. Like it always comes down to that thing, right? Like you relate in a certain way, you
Yeah.
share some certain
I tell
values.
you, the most relatable thing I had with you is your story yesterday or today, that you have written down that, you have been zoned out by your friends, you have
Yeah.
been looking out all by yourself. That is me, uh, in the same place, that I've never been in a group. I can't
Yeah.
vibe with a group. It is my own thoughts, my own space where I'm thinking I am a delusional guy.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel I can build rockets. I feel I can pull down Elon Musk someday as well.
Yeah.
But to be really honest, if I tell this to anybody, does they just laugh about it. But
Yeah,
I
exactly.
I can do that.
No, 100%, bro. I think uh every entrepreneur needs to be delusional, right?
Exactly.
Because it's crazy. Like you need to first of all believe in yourself that you can do it before even the world pays you, helps you out
Yeah.
build that thing. You are the first cheerleader for your business or whatever that you're starting out, or even for your dreams. Let's say, like, let's put it as dreams, right? Any dream that you have in your life, you gotta support it first, right? And then there are a lot of people who don't really support it, who act, who pretend to be friends, who talk in your back, kind of make fun of you. But that is what really helps you to filter out the real people in your life. Because that phase of my life really made me, build relationship with the people who really mattered to me, who really believed in me, right? And people who are just there, just
I
making
have a
fun
line.
about me.
I have a line for you. I heard it from a gentleman. Some
Yeah.
people in our life are like rocket boosters.
Yeah.
They stay with us for some point of time to reach, then they leave for us to, because they don't have the potential to be with us, and
Wow.
they just fell down,
Wow.
and we boost high.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
they're a weightage for us.
100%. I think that's a very good way to put it down, right? Like you try to take them with you, but you
Exactly.
cannot
Exactly.
because they become weight now. So
Till then they
yeah,
were
I
supposed,
think
till then they could hold us, because until leaving the earth they were fine. But after going to the Mars, they feel like, where am I? Am I right
yeah,
guide or not? Because they don't
the
have the
escape
potential
velocity.
to go with us to the Mars.
Exactly. No, I think that's a very good way to put this out
Every
there.
time I
Yeah.
see this, I hear this quote, I get goosebumps, because that happened to me a lot of times.
Yeah, 100%. Even for me, like some relationships are meant to be ended.
To go, I mean, that is
Uh,
my goal. doing good to go high, man.
Exactly. That's it. It's just going to be, uncertain for a certain time, but it all
Yeah,
makes sense once you escape. Once you go out of, once you go into the space, you know why, you have to leave
yeah,
them behind.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because I had few, see, this is my fourth gig which I'm working on. I've been working on like three other businesses, and some worked, some didn't, and there were people involved, friends, partners, and I've seen a lot. So today
Yeah.
where I am is because all of that, and I'm in a
Yeah.
different space right now, and I'm growing faster than before.
Yeah.
So
100%.
ultimately,
100%.
I mean, I when I was reading your story, I was like, yeah, this guy
Yeah.
is going to the space. Don't worry, man. I felt like
Yeah.
it should happen, or else you're not going anywhere.
100%. It happened like way long ago, bro. Like it happened like 1 year ago.
Yeah,
So that was 1 year ago, but that's when real switches happened. That really helped me to, escape that velocity.
it's
And that's
not with
that's why I
your
like,
partners or friends. It's with clients as well. Some drag you
yeah,
down, pull your
yeah,
mental health
100%.
down.
100%.
Some boost you forward. It's with everything.
100%. It's not just friends and family, yeah. It's even clients, the business partners, the founders, the team members that you work with, everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just checked the time. It went to 40 minutes. I think we'll be sitting now and talking the whole hour.
Yeah.
We'll do a part two for sure. I think I have a lot of, stuff to talk about.
No,
Everything that,
100%, bro.
because
Yeah.
it's very relatable for both of us.
Yeah.
Uh, and we have another stuff to talk about it. I will take,
Yeah.
a break here, and let's do a part two sometime in the
Yeah,
future.
100%, bro. Like 100% do it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Thank you for having,
Uh,
me,
no, thank you for having me, Abhishek.
yeah, talking to us, and I think it will help a lot of our fellow founders and people who are trying to get into entrepreneurship. And we'll catch up and see you guys. Take care.